No, I wasn't. I would be an average student. So I'll tell you what I backed up. I was the typical last bencher. So when I finished my 12th, I was 16. Because my parents had admitted me in school a year early. Those days, that's what they used to do. And I struggled in school because my peers were at least 1 year senior than me. And in the young age, the rate of growth of the brain is really fast. So you actually can see a difference between your colleagues and you, even if there is a 1 year difference, or even if there's an 8-month difference. I struggled with science, I struggled with mathematics. But those subjects that required fantastic memory, I was really good at. So every other subject I used to be great, but science and mathematics I really sucked. So how many people are here from Telangana? Anyone from Telangana at all? Okay. So when it was undivided Andhra Pradesh, like you have boards for the 10th and the 12th, we had boards for the 7th. So my parents, their biggest fear was, will he flunk mathematics in 7th? Then what happens? How will he go to the 8th? So against my will and with all the embarrassment that goes with taking up tuitions, I was pushed into a mathematics tuition. That man was not a great teacher. But the one thing that he did was, in my school, I once asked a doubt of my teacher in 6th standard. She thought that I was testing her when in fact I had trouble understanding. So she said, how dare you ask me a question? I'm a postgraduate in mathematics. How can you ask me a question? I said, I am not understanding the point. I'm not questioning that I don't understand. So after that I stopped asking questions because the teacher was not receptive to it. But this man, his only contribution was, he said, from step 1 to step 2, don't proceed if you don't understand. You will not proceed to step 2 until you understand step 1. And I don't mind if you keep asking me questions, but until you know what you're doing, don't go to the second step. According to me, he completely reoriented my wiring completely. I think after that, that's been my template. If the first question is not answered to my satisfaction, you may be a genius, I don't care, I will not go to the second step. So fortunately, after that, the fear of mathematics was gone and the love of logic began. So gradually I did okay. I was still not a topper. I would be somewhere in the 5th or the 6th position, whatever it is. I was just perhaps at best in the 6th or 7th position. And you would always, and I don't know how many people are aware of this, at least in southern families, the first question they ask is, how much did your friend get? How is he doing better than you? So you like your friends, but you also hate them because they are the benchmarks of comparison for whatever in life. So I don't think, so it's good to have benchmarks among friends, but I think you should also first judge yourself on how are you doing better compared to how you were. That's the first frame of reference. Because if you constantly look at others, you don't come from the same circumstances, you don't come from the same background. So it's very difficult to say that this journey is the same as that journey. So I think you ultimately gradually cope to look at yourself individually. So to answer your question, Steve Jobs was a backbencher. Okay? Backbenchers have a fantastic quality. We sleep. But when the questions are asked, we are the first ones to wake up. And we develop the ability to listen as we sleep. Because we don't want to be caught unawares when the teacher wakes you up. We end up asking the right question. The point I'm trying to make is that every position in life teaches you some skill. And backbenchers are extremely street smart because they have to survive if they don't have academic abilities. With time, if you're blessed with academic abilities, that's a different issue. But you should have some skill. That's what sitting in the backbench taught me. And we have a fantastic sense of humor because we are constantly poking fun at everybody else. So if I were to ever go to a public function, now I can't do that much, but in weddings and other places, my brother and I would be found sitting at the back, making fun of everybody across the place. He's like this, just for the heck of it. But the point I'm trying to make is, maybe you take yourself seriously, but you also don't take yourself too seriously. Because if you don't do that, this phase of your life you will remember as a phase of constant struggle. We're just fighting, competing, so on and so forth. Fortunately, I think I was saved that to a significant extent. By the way, I was so bad in science that in the 6th standard, my teacher specifically said, unless he meets outside the classroom, I will not teach science for the entire year. So for an entire year, I was meeting outside the classroom. My parents didn't know this because I couldn't go and tell them. It's too embarrassing. I revealed this, I confessed to this only a few years ago to my parents. So it was partially traumatic, but at the end of the day, I think it teaches you to deal with each of these situations. There were 2 ways I could have responded to that. One, never touch science at all after that, and opt for humanities or whatnot. Thanks to that tuition teacher, I aspired for IIT, almost cleared it. I think I was a fairly decent engineer before I made the switch to law. I wanted to become an aerospace engineer. So, what you are, perhaps in school, is no reflection of what you can be later. Any number of stories in my friend set that I've seen. Toppers being average people after school, and absolute laggards coming out like, how do I put it, bursting forth after school. So I don't think any particular phase can decide what you will be in the future.